All right, good evening, everyone. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Stingle and our treble choir to the stage for the singing of our national anthem. Mr. Stingle. Thank you, Mr. Stingle, and our treble choir. Tough to sit and listen, or stand and listen to them and not have goosebumps. So thank you for welcoming them, and welcome you, the class of 2027. It still sounds odd to say. Welcome to our freshman, incoming freshman parent night tonight. It's great to have you. We're excited to have you. We had your children this morning in these chairs. And I was just sharing with another parent that they seemed a little shell-shocked. It seemed like they got out of the small town and were in the big city this afternoon, but it was great to have them. My name's Tim Reimer. I'm the building principal here. Excited to have you here tonight, and excited to share all the good things about West Morris Central with you and welcome you to our family. A couple of things. You should have an agenda at this point, a program in hand. It's color-coded for a reason. I'll introduce Mr. Ferrari in a couple minutes to tell you about that. You're going to meet some of our supervisors tonight, hear about our academic offerings. Really good opportunity to soak in some of that information. And make sure you don't miss out on our activities and athletics fair in the cafeteria. Our tours will be running out of there as well. Really good information. 85 clubs and activities here. Over 25 varsity sports. There is absolutely something for everyone, and that's what I told the kids today. I encourage them to get involved come August. Right behind this curtain here, this afternoon, we had the curtain open and the lights were on, and it looked like a construction zone. We actually closed them up tonight, made it look a little bit more formal, but behind these curtains is the setup for our upcoming spring musical. What a great opportunity to come out in a couple of weeks in March and look at watch the spring musical, see the hard work that those kids and the staff members are putting together to showcase their talents here. Even if your child is not involved in the high school just yet, come out and support our kids and just get a little taste of the good things happening here. Right behind the back wall here is the school store. At some point tonight, stop by the school store. If it happens to be closed for business, by the time you get there, I know there are some QR codes. There's a little handout there. You can do all your school store shopping online. Basketball game is going on tonight, also right over in the main gym. So it might be a little bit chaotic when you leave the auditorium and pass through the bistro, but also gives you a little bit of taste of the excitement that's in the building when things are happening. So you'll get a taste there. A couple of quick introductions I'd like to do, and then of course a couple of thank yous. First and foremost, my administrative team, Mr. Carroll and Ms. Liskowitz, two of my assistant principals, Mr. Carroll here to my left, Ms. Liskowitz in the back. Mr. Ferreri, you'll meet him in a minute, and our athletic director, Mr. Schilling in the back. They are my eyes and ears in the building and are going to be a huge support for your children. All right, one of the things I expressed to your kids today is the adult support that's available to them. We talked about the adults that were in the room. We talked about some of the upperclassmen that were in the room, including the Reach leaders. I'll introduce them in a minute. But there are a lot of supports here for your kids. When they need help, all they have to do is ask. If I can get a quick round of applause in the back, Baylor, I don't see him at the moment, but there he is. He's doing all the sound and lighting tonight. Thank Baylor, please. All the young adults walking around in yellow shirts, those are our Reach leaders. Mostly seniors, but please, if you need anything, you can tap them on the shoulder. They have the answers to most of your questions. Our Reach leaders, please give them a round of applause. Real quickly, before I turn the program over to Mr. Ferreri, I said to the kids this afternoon, I said, if you go home to dinner tonight and mom and dad look at you across the table and they say, what did you learn today? What did you find out about West Central? At least when you go there, you can tell them what we're all about, hopefully. We talked about this real quick. When you walk the building tonight, you'll see a lot of banners and things like that around the building that talk about pride in the pack. A couple years ago, I asked our teachers to define what's important to us, what they believe is important to us. This didn't come from the top down, this came from our staff members. We talked about our kids being passionate, whatever they choose to do, whether that's being a Reach leader or being on the basketball team or being on the part of the chess club, being passionate about something, finding a passion while they're here. We talked about respect a lot. Kids were great when they came in today. I was talking, they listened, a couple of them talked, and we listened. There's a big piece of mutual respect in this building. Talk about integrity a lot. What are you going to do when nobody's looking, right? When the adults are around, you're going to pick up that piece of garbage, but when the adults have their back turned, are you going to lean over and throw that bottle out? Talk a lot about integrity in the building. Being determined, right? Things don't always go your way, but maybe you just have to work a little bit harder for them to work out next time. And then last but not least, the E used to stand for excellence. A few years ago when we talked about pride in the pack, it used to stand for excellence. And our staff members said, yeah, we want our kids to be excellent. And then the events of the world happened a couple of years ago. And they decided that the E should stand for empathy. Because it's really important to try to see the world through somebody else's eyes. So we talk about that a lot here. Those are the things that are important to us. Those are the things that we'll talk about for the next 4 years with your kids, starting in August. So, if you're ever walking down the street and Westmore Central comes up and somebody says, well, what is that place like? What's it all about? This is what we're all about. Thanks for coming tonight. Good luck. Looking very much forward to seeing your kids in August and having them here. Again, a lot of adults in the building to support their needs. If they have a question, if they have a concern, have them knock on our door. Welcome aboard, class of 2027 parents. It's great to have you. I'll turn things over to Mr. Ferreri.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out tonight. Like Mr. Reimer said, my name is Matt Ferreri. I'm the Director of School Counseling here at the high school. Spoke with the students today. They were great and really challenged them to leave this afternoon having an idea of what they wanted to take next year, to start to get excited about West Morris. Your objectives tonight, or our objectives tonight, is to give you some information about the scheduling process, give you a better understanding of the courses that we have available to freshmen, look at a 9th grade schedule, and kind of go over a timeline of where you should be from now to the first day of freshman year. So let's start there. The teachers at Long Valley Middle School have made recommendations. We have taken those recommendations, we've put them in a letter, we have sent them home. Hopefully they have hit your mailboxes by this point. Yes? Can I get some nods if you've gotten them? Sweet. All right, if you don't have them, by the end of the week, please contact us, let us know, we'll send you another copy. A sample of that letter is in the middle of your packet here, and you'll note that there are a number of electives at the bottom of that letter that the students need to choose from before or when they meet with their counselors. Those will happen at the middle school in February and March. Okay, so starting in February, starting tomorrow actually, counselors are going down from the high school to Long Valley Middle School to meet with the students and you, the parents, if you've made that appointment already. If you haven't done so, please do so. If your child has an IEP, that meeting is happening in March because we're going to do the scheduling conference and your 8th grade IEP meeting at the same time. Do two birds, one stone. Okay, so February, March, you're going to have those conferences with your counselors. We will release a preliminary schedule to the students in June. The finalized schedule will be available to them in mid-August, about a week before our freshman orientation. Freshman orientation is August 15th. We've also put a little reminder on the back of your flyer, on the back of your folder here. And we'll send home multiple communications reminding you of that orientation on August 15th. And then the first day of school, freshman year, August 23rd, 2023. It's happening, folks. It's happening. Again, recommendations. The teachers at the middle school made those recommendations. So really, if you have any questions, concerns, clarifications, you really should reach out to the teachers at the middle school for that. 3 academic levels here at the high school: academic, advanced, and honors. Yeah, I'm not going to go through every single thing what's the biggest difference, but what I will tell you is this, and everybody can read here, you can see that, and this is going to be online for you tomorrow if you want to go back and reference it. As you look at it, honors being the highest level, down to academic, right? Really at the honors level, your student is that independent, intrinsic, curious learner, right? Really likes to do the work, likes to read, doesn't have to be pushed to do those types of things, right? Those are your honor students. Your advanced level students may possess some of those qualities, but sometimes they need some reminders, right? Are probably, you know, above grade level, at grade level from a reading standpoint. Maybe they don't necessarily enjoy it so much, but they're able to do it. And then when you look at your academic level, you know, these are the students that need support, right? At our academic level classes, that is the level in which we may have 2 teachers in the classroom to support students that needs, you know, help focusing in on what they need to get done. All right, so as you're going through tonight and as you are listening to our supervisors speak to you about the courses, what the expectations are for freshman year, just kind of keep in the back of your head, looking at this, what type of learner you think your student is, and based on the recommendations, hopefully that marries with what they've been suggested for next year. All right, we'll leave that there for now. I do want to quickly go over this, your schedule for freshman year. Every student will have an English class, every student will have a history, every student will have science. Typically it's biology, there's a few exceptions, but for the most part biology. Everyone will have math, and everyone's at a different level, different place in math, and that's okay. But your 3 most common, Math 1, Algebra 1, Geometry. We have 3 languages here at the high school. This afternoon, our Chinese teacher and our French teacher spoke to the students about their programs. So your students have already had exposure to Spanish. We wanted to give them a little bit of exposure to the 2 other languages we have here at the high school. So hopefully, you know, they think about maybe trying one of those languages if they're looking for something different. Everyone will take physical education, and we're going to have an elective in our schedule. That last spot, the 8th spot, can either be an elective or an academic study. I'll say this about academic studies. Athlete, if your student's an athlete involved in choir, band, music, after-school activities, a lot of clubs. Maybe a good idea to have an academic study in their schedule, a period during the day for them to get work done. If you don't think your student, does well with time on their own, maybe it's best for them to have an 8th class. You guys can have that discussion. What I'll say is this: the vast majority of students do take an academic study, and you can take an academic study all 4 years here at high school and still have more than the 120 credits necessary to graduate. So you are able to do that and be very, very successful. Okay? I just wanted to show you this. After you leave here tonight, hopefully a lot of your questions are answered. But if you have more questions about specific courses, anything like that, you can go to the Program of Studies. It is online. You can find it in 2 spaces under the About tab on our homepage. Or if you venture into the school counseling page, you'll see a link for the Program of Studies right there. Any questions about anything? Okay, so tonight we're going to do a couple of different things. We have, as you look through here, you can see there's 3 stations that you're going to go to. Here in the auditorium, we'll be talking about world language and our electives. In the cafeteria, that'll be your opportunity to take a tour of the building and see all the clubs and activities we have here at the high school. And then in the library, you'll learn about math, history, English, and science. So, we have color-coded these. If you have a yellow, I'm calling this yellow, okay? If you have a yellow program, you're staying here in the auditorium for the first session. And when it's time for you to go to the second session and the third session, we have Jolie and Grace, stand up Jolie and Grace, our 2 Reach leaders. They are going to be with our yellow group, okay? If you have orange, where's orange, all right? You are going to the library right now. And JT and Kira, Kira, stand up. They're your leaders. They're walking you around this evening. And our blue group, you're starting in the cafeteria with Mackenzie, another Kira. Mackenzie and Kira, stand up. All right, so right now let's do this. Let's have our orange group follow JT and Kira to the library, please. No mixing of groups. We see the colors that you're holding.
Well, Carrie did make it.
Mackenzie and Kira. Once this group comes out, Mackenzie and Kira is going to take the blue group. You are going to go to the cafeteria, get a tour of the building, look at our clubs and activities. Our yellow group, we're going to stay here in the auditorium. And I've been doing this with Ms. LaSousa for a long time now. I'm warning you, she's going to ask you all to move up to the front. So, they want to hear it from me. So if you come on down, come on a little bit closer, please.
Hi everyone. If you can't hear me, can you move out I'm required to use the microphone because they're recording this. So my name is Jessica LaSousa. I am the supervisor of the World Languages program here at West Morris Regional. It is quite literally the highlight of my day to tell you about the program and to answer any questions that you might have. I'm here with my fabulous colleague, Dr. Amelia Wright. She's the supervisor of special education, business, technology, and engineering. So she's going to answer any questions, tell you about her programs, and answer any questions that you have. Thank you for nodding. I love it when people nod. It's this is great. Okay. This is my 11th year as the supervisor of this program, and I love it. And I've adapted my presentation over the years. Used to be very, very boring. It's much less boring. And I want to tell you that the greatest thing about the program is what your child is going to come out able to do, okay? However many years they study languages here at West Morris Central, they're going to be able to communicate with somebody else in that language. And I have to say, I think that's very exciting. How many of you, by a show of hands, studied a language in high school? Okay, great. Hands down. How many of you can speak it sort of well? Okay, so far fewer than studied it. All of the students, every one of you will have a student here at West Morris Central, and they're going to come out somewhat conversant, depending upon how long they stay in the program, in that language. And I'm incredibly proud of that, and it's very rewarding. So we offer Spanish, French, and Mandarin. What Mr. Ferreri had said earlier about academic advanced honors, for world language, you actually have fewer decisions to make, which makes life even greater. So your child is going to decide which language they want to study, but they don't have to necessarily decide the level, because if they studied Spanish at Long Valley Middle School or elsewhere, the recommendation will be for Spanish 1 or 2. And it's not leveled. It's a heterogeneous group. So students of all ability levels will be in Spanish 1 and Spanish 2. Same for French 1, French 2, Chinese 1, 2. We don't level the students into advanced or honors until level 3. So if we have what we call heritage speakers or native speakers, we sometimes make an exception and put the student forward into level 3 as a freshman. So if you're in that situation, please let me know, and we can place your student accordingly.
Yeah, come here and follow.
So,
It doesn't matter. Come in here and just stay with this group.
okay, so we've been somebody new to our group. Basically, we use an immersion approach. All of the teachers use the target language between 90 and 100% of the time. So it depends on if you've just moved here from a different community and your program was not an immersion setting, sometimes that can be a little bit shocking to the students, but after a very short period of time, they get used to it. Even if they're switching languages altogether, if they start in August, excuse me, and they start taking Chinese, but they already took Spanish, they still get used to it very, very quickly. Our program design is based on the ACTFL proficiency continuum. So basically you start at the level, it's novice low, novice mid, novice high, intermediate low,